This is Whirlwind, Ladder Edition. Sorry for the delay, guys, but finally, we're going to get this anticipated match underway, spawning in the top right-hand position from STX Seoul as the Blue Terran, Innovation.
And his opponent spawning as a red Protoss on the top left position of Whirlwind. His name is Parting, playing for SK Telecom T1. At least I got more Twitter followers during the break. That's something good. So, Innovation is the new hope of STX Seoul, currently on 7-game winning streak and 6-game winning streak against Terran and 5-game winning streak against Zerg in Pro League. But where's the Protoss winning streak? I don't see that.
That's probably the last game he lost there.
Ooh.
Well, something I've noticed, all of these top Terrans, they have, it seems that they have a combined weakness against Protoss, and it's just the hardest matchup for them to deal with.
So I'll take one more question before we start the casting. Aiden, for Rio, how is life in Korea so far? And you know, I grew up in Korea when I was little and moved back to States when I was in 4th grade. So you know, I'm already used to the lifestyle over here. And excluding North Korea right now, everything has been fantastic. And this is for you actually. How do you communicate with Koreans that don't speak English?
Oh well, I make a combined series of weird facial expressions and body language and sign language, just kind of motioning at them. And sometimes they get scared and they run away, but other times they'll kind of get the gist of what I'm saying. And that was my joke, SNM. That's what you're supposed to laugh at me.
Well, I can't laugh at it if I'm trying to listen to you and if there's someone outside waving at us trying to say cast the game, because there's a 15cc happening at the natural base of Innovation.
Indeed there is. Also behind that we have the double gas opening from Parting behind that gateway, so definitely possible to see some type of Oracle harassment from him. That is what I would love to see following up from the double gas.
The MC style, we still have two guys, 2 probes in the gas, so this is slightly different from what MC used to love to do on this map, especially against MVP on MOG. What he did is put 3 probes in the gas, and he went for the Stargate, went for the Oracle, and one of the builds that he actually did on this map is get up to 3 Oracles and just went for the natural base, and the Terran player did not have an answer.
Exactly, yeah. If you don't have the Widow Mines and you don't have the turrets, if you get a lot of Oracles up, it actually becomes so deadly.
Now, one thing I want to point out that there's a way to counter the Widow Mines, and what you do is get the sentry out earlier in the game and hallucinate a Phoenix and just run by inside the main base of the Terran player, scout out where the Widow Mines are, or even try to sacrifice the hallucinated Phoenix into the Widow Mines so that it gets disabled for the next few seconds, and using the Oracle to kill everything else.
Indeed, so using that hallucinated Phoenix can be very key in making that Oracle harass work. We have a fast expansion on the way from Parting behind this, getting that sentry like we were talking about, so maybe he will use that hallucinate ability there.
God.
God. Is that his new nickname?
Well, it's like half God. It's like the combination of the word God and innovation. So
okay, so the innovative God, and I guess Robotech going down for Parting here, so he's not going to go for the Stargate harass at all this game, but Innovation definitely feeling like that could come out from Parting.
That's a really early forge that we are seeing from Parting.
Oh, it certainly is. Quite an early forge that's going to get him his upgrades out so fast, and you know what? He could also use that to potentially make cannons in his Mirror Lines earlier on in the game if he expects any type of Widow Mine drops.
Oh yeah, I mean, this was a little bit more popular when players like Naniwa tried to popularize a 15 Nexus into Forge, into getting the cannons down at the natural base, trying to secure the expansion. We don't see that anymore because Terrans figured out how to counter against it, you know, bit by bit. And yeah, we don't see it as much often, but this, I have a feeling this could have a lot of potential if Parting goes for the faster upgrades, get some cannons down, 1 or 2 at each bases, and look at this Innovation. He's scared of the Widow Mine, not the Widow Mine drop, the Oracle that could possibly arrive inside his main base.
Oh, he definitely is. And here we go. The SCV going to scout, see the expansion. He'll see both of the sentries as well before getting taken out, but unfortunately, that doesn't really give him too much information here. So Innovation still going to be very defensive in his main base. It's almost like he expects the Oracle harass to come, but instead, look at how greedy Parting is playing. He's getting that +1 armor so fast. He got up a fast robo, and now he'll be doing a little bit of scouting with this hallucinated Phoenix.
What's interesting is that Parting never went outside of his main base.
Yeah, he just hasn't bothered the scout yet. He's actually scouted almost everywhere but Innovation's main base. Now, finally, he has an observer that will be going over there, and he'll be able to see exactly what's going on.
Yeah, the build that he did was safe, pretty much safe against everything, I have to say, except for the proxy racks, which is pretty much impossible on this map to pull off unless you have map hack or if you somehow know where your opponent spawned.
Yep, so scan going down by Innovation, going to be able to see most of what his opponent is up to, and the Observer, it's going to be able to just barely escape. Nope, never mind. Observer gets found and sniped off. Excellent reflexes from Innovation, preventing too much scouting information from going to Parting, but so far this game has been very passive, and both players are opting to go for some pretty greedy builds.
Yeah, Innovation getting the third command center up. There's two players in Pro League who likes to go for the early third command center. One known as Flash, everyone knows who he is, and the other one being Innovation. You know, these two players, they really love to play greedy, and they know how to defend against early pushes. That's the reason why they are so strong in Stracraft2 as a Terran player.
Indeed, now we finally have the Colossus tech on the way for Parting here. He's also researching that +1 attack. And I'm wondering if that Forge upgrade early on in the game will come to play a little bit later on into this game. Maybe, what do you think he could do with that? Maybe some type of timing?
He could try to go for the timing, but yeah, he could have +1/+1 out relatively quickly, but he could go for the double forge at the 7 minutes 30 seconds mark, and I think he could have gotten it out slightly faster than getting the +1, so I guess it was more of trying to defend against some of an early pressure around the 8 minutes, using the +1 armor upgrade to defend against that, and then go for the +1 attack. But we have an Immortal coming out.
We do have an Immortal coming out as well. Charge on the way. More gateways going down here, so I am really starting to feel like this is going to be a big timing push from Parting here, and he's only showing a few units at his ramp here, getting a Templar Archives behind it.
This is so smart. He showed the Colossus with the on the Marine. So some players are like, oh, he showed the Colossus, so now Innovation is going to go for the Vikings. That's what Parting wants Innovation to see, because now he's getting the Immortals and he's getting Templar Archives behind it.
Yes, indeed, he is getting the Templar Archives. Parting just waiting to see when Innovation wants to take that third base. I feel like he wants to be as aggressive as possible when that third base goes down. But look at this. The third base, Innovation, very smartly being flown away. And now, seeing these two extra gates, Innovation, he's going to know that something's coming for him. And I think that Parting may have to change his game plan.
Yeah. He immediately pulls back his main army after the scan, and also trying to get out of the position from where his opponent might be. So now he needs to start massing up army. Now, Innovation, he did take the slightly further away third base, but it's typical for Terran players to do so in this position because they don't want to expand towards the Protoss player.
Exactly. We have Psionic Storm on the way, +2 armor. That second Forge is going to be done any time now. Parting will have a pretty strong army, I feel, in this situation here. And besides this, we just see more powering coming out from Innovation as well. So both players just, really powering out as much units as possible in this situation.
Now, I didn't see the positioning of the main army inside the main base. Did the scan actually see the Templars? Yes, he did.
Yes,
finally, he scouted it, and look at this Ghost Academy immediately being thrown down after the scan.
Exactly. Innovation not skipping a beat here. There will be a small in-between grace time where there is Storm and there are no Ghosts out, but that period will not last for long, and I think Parting is a little bit more interested in securing his third base. We already see that Nexus on the way here, but also I'm very impressed. Parting being very close in supply to his opponent.
Yeah. You know what would be funny if he just switched back to a pure Colossus right now, just to mind game his opponent after the scan?
That would be like... That'd be pretty crazy, but we don't even have Colossus range on the way. Still, would be very interesting to see, and I'm sure that he'll do that at some point in the future when he puts down a double Robo. And +3 attack on the way for Innovation here. He's doing a very good job at keeping up with his upgrades, while +2 armor just starting. +2 armor about to finish before Parting, and his +2 attack is also a little bit over halfway done. And finally, the Ghost production has started here. Parting, though, deciding he wants to get a little bit aggressive, going to move out across the map. He still hasn't seen the third over here, but I think he must have a good idea by now that Innovation took the third on the other side of the map.
This is really interesting unit composition. Parting has a lot of these units that could do a lot of AoE damage. He has the Colossus, he has the Templars. And the problem for Innovation is he doesn't know how many units there are. He doesn't know if there's 1 Colossus or 3 Colossus. He doesn't know if there's like 2 Templars or 5 Templars. So now Innovation has to do some guesswork. He needs to start throwing down scans, see how many units there are, and also try to balance between the Ghosts and the Vikings. And it's a little tricky situation for Innovation to be in.
I have to say, though, Parting has done such a good job at really hiding his army here. And there we go. Look at that. The Colossus switch is starting to happen now. He's building another one and getting the range here. Innovation's army is spotted by Parting's observer here that it looks like it may want to head to that potential fourth base from Parting. I think he wants to take it. Will he take it yet, though? That's the real question. Nice storm out of nowhere from Parting there.
Whoa, you have to get used to that because that's what Parting loves to do.
He loves those storms just out of nowhere. Nice storm there, killing off 2 units essentially for free there, losing the High Templar unfortunately though.
So if you see in the main minimap, he's throwing down the pylons around the map with the observers. So if he has the pylons everywhere, which he's gonna warp in 1 or 2 Templars at each location, and that's the reason why Parting can do these amazing storms out of nowhere. And the Ghost EMP, not as effective against Parting.
The only issue I can see really right now for Parting is that 3-2 is almost complete for Innovation, and Parting has not started his 3-3 yet. So uncharacteristically, he will be behind the Terran in upgrades.
But instead of going for the upgrades, he's going for the Dark Shrine, so he wants to harass some SCBs around the map. This is a fantastic choice, especially if you did not start out with the DTs, because some Terran players, they don't expect the switch, and the DTs, it's easier to go for them now.
And look at how heavy that Zealot composition is. There are so many Zealots in this army. And, I mean, there are a good amount of Marines, but the Colossus, the Templar, here they come out of nowhere. A storm going down, not really hitting too much there. But Parting, more random stores just all around the map. Look at that, using that grass there, just being as annoying as possible with those High Templar.
I told you.
The Templar, man, they just come straight out of right field. You have no idea where they're going to be, and that's going to make Innovation so scared to actually engage Parting.
Alright, so Templars also being scattered all around the map once again. Now surrounding completely from other sides, using the Time Warp, and this is a fantastic choice. He can storm from the behind, and here comes the great storm on the army, but Innovation also splits perfectly.
Yes, Innovation still suffering a good amount of damage from the storm, and now are we going to see an engagement from Parting? Not quite yet. He's still making sure that he has a very high supply army now. 193 to 193. More good storms going down from Parting here. The Templar do get sniped off, but they do their job before attack. Here we go. We have a humongous engagement at this expansion here. The Colossus are essentially naked, getting completely annihilated here. Excellent storm going down on all of that bio army there, and it looks like Parting, will he be able to clean this up? The Vikings have killed off all the air units, and now they're on the ground. Uh-oh, this could be a bad position for our Parting. He's losing a lot of his army here. He's going to lose his 3rd base. Parting not looking too happy about the situation.
The storms were great, but it never really hit the main army. Instead, Innovation drew out the storms at a location where he wanted. Now, if he doesn't lose the tropes here, it's going to be, it's going to be an okay situation because he does have the 4th base up for himself. An amazing storm on the Vikings and the Marines and the Marauders, but is that going to be enough? Seems like Parting knows that he's far behind in this game.
Oh, Parting, it looks like he did lose that big engagement there, and unfortunately for him, I think that just may be too much for him to deal with. The Zealots, they can't do anything. There's just too much bio here running into his main base, and he only has 3. The upgrades played a huge role here, and being behind in the upgrades just wasn't enough for him. That's going to be a GG.
So I want to say combination of Innovation drawing out the storm on the few of the army instead of his main army, because when he decided to attack into the 3rd base, you saw a huge, small chunk of the army just pushing forward and Parting stormed that. So it was a bait, and then he decided to go for the attack after noticing that there weren't any more High Templars in that area.
Now, I also feel like Parting, he could have done a little bit better at dealing with those Vikings on the air. There weren't actually too many of them, and if he had a few more Stalkers, a few less Zealots, he could have sniped those down. The Colossus would have been alive, and they could have helped out his army.